Good evening. I want to thank the United Way and I want to thank the local for hosting this. It's so important, and even for Elections Ontario, to let us know how easy it is to vote. Voter turnout was incredibly low in 2022 across the province, and we can do better. So I'm asking you to please encourage yourself to vote, but also bring a friend. I brought my husband on the weekend. I didn't give him a choice. He's going to vote. My synopsis from this evening is that we need to get the basics right. And that's something that we are incredibly lacking in Ontario. We need to work on housing, we need to work on affordability, healthcare is a primary concern, and we need to collaborate across all levels. There's a lot of discussion at each of the tables about what each jurisdiction is, municipal, federal, and provincial, but we need to collaborate. And we need to be, when we're collaborating, actively listening, but actually taking action. Something that we need to do as a community, and something our officials need to do. My bio information is on the table. Please feel free to grab one, but my name is Ashley Fox, and I am your Ontario Liberal candidate. I am a registered practical nurse from Palmerston, Ontario, where I reside with my husband Jeff and my daughter Aria. I might be a familiar face to most of you, as I ran in the 2022 election as the Ontario Liberal candidate for this area. Many people have asked me why I'm running, and the answer is you. I took some time and reflected after 2022, and people reached out across party lines to ask me to put my name forward to ensure that you had bold action and representation. And that's why I'm here. So I ask you as a community to please make sure that you get out and vote on February 27th, hopefully for me, but I encourage you to vote either way. Thank you so much.
I will definitely echo Ashley's statements. What a wonderful evening tonight. Thank you very much to all of our organizers of the United Way. Such great and thoughtful discussions being had tonight around really central issues that are affecting all Ontarians and really causing a lot of problems for families in every community across Perth-Wellington and across the province. So yes, if we could give a round of applause for tonight's organizers. Will didn't want that. I've been a teacher for 25 years. They started me out at the education table. That was very kind of them. It was all downhill from there. Yeah, terrible. But over those 25 years, I have seen ups and downs, of course. Public education is being eroded beneath our feet. Healthcare is being eroded beneath our feet. We are spending those dollars that were in those places on priorities that are not priorities for any of us in this room, I would guess. Highways, tunnels. I wanted to give you a little fire there. So we need to take this election as seriously as possible. As Ashley said, we must get as many people out to vote as possible. When I am campaigning door to door, people are upset. People are upset at this election call. People are upset with the issues we're facing, and that this government feels like this government has abandoned us. And that's part of the reason that I put my name forward for the Green Party. I feel like with my experience in the classroom, cultivating community, building equity, responding to problems, helping people navigate issues, and being an ear for those issues, and taking children seriously with their problems, whatever they might be. I feel that just lends itself really well to this new environment. I did run in the 2022 municipal election, came very close to council, but I gained so much insight into the issues facing people of Stratford. And tonight I had insight, but gained more insight from all the great discussions we've had. You need to continue to advocate for these issues. You need to make sure that we have a government that stands up for the people, because that's who they represent, that they listen to you, that they respond to you, that they take your issues seriously and take measurable, real action on those issues. We are living in unprecedented times, for sure. There's a lot of fear out there about what's coming from the south. All of these politicians that are running tonight will be able to represent you. Doug Ford, if he is elected again, whoever the premier is, will not be alone to deal with this. Our prime minister will handle this. So I really urge you to think about your candidate and make sure you make the best choice for you, your family, your community, and hopefully you consider voting Green. Thank you very much.
everyone. I'll speak loudly. It's wonderful to be here with everyone. Echo Ashley and Ian in thanking the United Way and the local for organizing such a unique event. I know each table was kind of different, which was great to see in the format on that. I really appreciate you sharing your personal experiences with me. As Will mentioned, I do have the pleasure of being the incumbent. It's been a true honor to serve as your MPP for almost 3 years now at Queen's Park and advocating for you there at Queen's Park. I know we heard a lot obviously about affordability, healthcare, and education here tonight, and housing, of course, as well. I know the tables are trying for us not to bleed over into those questions, but I know whether it's affordability and healthcare and the combination of that, and whether it's housing and healthcare, I know all of it sort of meshes together. I know in the past 3 years, I've worked diligently to work with all of our councillors locally, all of our municipalities, with our federal representatives and all the organizations in the room this evening as well to advocate for Perth-Wellington, ensuring that we're getting investments in our rural communities. If re-elected, I will continue to do that, whether it's investments that we've achieved but need more in primary care, whether it's investments in education, whether it's ensuring we're keeping costs down for our rural communities and making sure we have those investments locally. I know there's more work to do, and if it's the will of the people, again, I echo my comments of my colleagues, everyone can vote. The Elections Ontario has made it very easy, and reinforce that at the doors as well, no matter who they're voting for, how they can go about and vote at the election. Perth-Wellington did okay compared to the rest of the province last year for turnout. We had an above average, but we can do better. I encourage everyone to vote, whether it's by special ballots, which you can do now until the 26th at 6 p.m. As well. My Elections Ontario colleagues saying yes, and also advanced polls the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I'd encourage you to vote early because we don't know, this is snow country, the weather may be an issue, and obviously the 27th as well. And I look forward to please, my literature's there. I ran in 2022 as being approachable and accessible. I've done my best to do that as MPP and obviously as a candidate now, so happy to chat about any issues provincially as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you again to the local United Way and all the wonderful volunteers that are putting on today. It was a great time being here. I'd like to start by pointing out the fact that arguably affordability, maybe not, but everything else we've discussed tonight as what was seen last week as the most pivotal and important things that affect this election are services we rely on. As great as tonight was, I'm disheartened by the fact that the most important things discussing Ontario citizens right now are the services we require to live, right? If you do not have housing, you will die. If you do not have functional health care, you will die. If you cannot afford food, you will die. We should not be having conversations about the basic necessities of life at this level. That means that something is wrong. It means something is broken. I remember 2 elections ago, one of the biggest and most important issues was addressing mental health and addiction. We have gotten so bad that that's not even in the conversation anymore. Now the conversation's about where am I gonna live and what am I gonna eat. We need to start doing better. One of the things that I identify so much with as being a Canadian is that yes, my taxes are high. Yes, when I get paid in my tax bracket, 30% is taken away right off the bat. But I took pride in that because I knew that that 30% meant that when I got older and needed a hospital, it would be there for me. And that the people I love had roofs and food and a community to help them. And that's not true anymore. Now I struggle to understand why 30% of my pay is gone when my wife goes in the hospital and is left in a hallway for 4 days. When I can't access childcare for my son, who was born in June 3 years ago and still on a waiting list, right? It's important that the money that we spend goes towards the services we require. I talked a bit tonight about what I believe government is. Government exists for when society is incapable of doing something and capitalists are unwilling. We do not require government to make money for gas stations to put beer in it. We do not require government to invest in $800,000 homes no one can afford. We do not require government to spread hate Society is capable of doing that on its own, and it is our job to stop it. Government is meant to provide the services we rely on as the first and most important thing. And the fact that everything we're talking about today is the services that we're no longer able to rely on tells me that we're failing. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry I was such a downer just now.
So this was an interesting night. Really jumped in the deep end on this one. By the way, I did this to myself. I found out about this yesterday. And I wasn't even invited. I just kind of showed up and said, yeah, I want to be part of this. So, no, I had some really good conversations. And before I get into my reflections, I want to thank the organizers and the staff. But I want to thank, and I think everybody missed this, I want to thank all of you for coming. We couldn't have this conversation without your perspectives. Right? But I'm going to reiterate some stuff. What we're talking about are essential services that we are no longer getting, and it is vital for people to survive. There are things that I definitely would like to work to address: doctor shortages, housing, affordability, finding where we're not meeting our goals and rectifying that, right? Encouraging people and embolden them with their individual rights and freedoms, right? Making sure that they're safe from feel safe from their own government and the people around them. Making sure, we talked about it in education, making sure that people feel safe at school. Right? There's so many instances of violence in school, and nothing can be done to remove the child in question. So, but enough about that. So, for those of you who don't know about me, my name is James Montgomery. I am a captain in the Army Reserves. I've served for 13 years as an instructor for Army cadets. If I'm unfortunate to get this position, I will be the commanding officer of 223 Army Cadets here in Stratford. So that was a commitment I kind of decided to back out of it if I win, because I think this is more important. And that, I instruct in my civilian job, and I also preach. And that, I look forward to serving you guys. As some people said, don't wait till election day. Go out, vote now. Don't count on the weather being great. Also, take a buddy with you. Actually, you know what? Take two, right? Tell them to take two, right? Whether for me or whether for your chosen candidate, make sure that you go out. So, and thank you for having me, and it's been a great night.